it is not scientifically possible to study the origin of the universe. The experimental scientific method calls for testing and repeating a hypothesis. The beginning of the universe can neither be tested experimentally nor repeated. In addition, no human observer was present to witness the beginning. Despite this, various ideas or theories have been proposed on how the universe began. The most popular idea regarding the origin of the universe is the Big Bang theory. Since the early 1920s, the majority of scientists have accepted the theory that the universe started with a Big Bang. The basic idea behind the Big Bang theory is that many billion years ago, variously estimated from 10 to 30 billion, all the matter in the universe was concentrated in a single point or sphere. At some point, that condensed bundle of light radiation exploded with a Big Bang, and the universe began to expand from that point. It is believed that mass or solid matter was formed out of the original radiation. After this explosion, random chance took over. Molecules come together to form the various heavenly bodies. On Earth, non-living molecules came together to form simple life. Through millions of years, this simple life evolved into the complex life we have today. This expanding of the universe is supposedly still going on. Stars, galaxies, and clusters of galaxies spread out across the billion light years that we call it as universe now. It's a compelling, beautiful picture that explains so much of what we see from the present large-scale structure of the universes, 2 trillion galaxies to the leftover flow of radiation permeating all of existence. Each of the points of circumstantial evidence may be used to support the idea that some beginning of the universe is required, but not necessarily the Big Bang. Let's try to understand the Big Bang in a detailed way for a few minutes. 13 billion years ago, nothing was there. No time, no space, there's absolutely nothing. Out of nowhere, a particle which is smaller than an atom started to expand. It has a lot of energy and trillion-degree temperature. As I said, there's no space, no time, and no physics formula. The expansion of the universe is faster than the light speed. Every second, it's expanding to 3 lakh kilometers. There's only pure energy and there's no matter in it. E equal to m2 square. The formula told us that the energy can change into matter and matter can change into energy. Take a bomb as an example. If an explosion happens, the matter will be released as energy. But in Big Bang, with energy, matter and antimatter also released. So when matter and antimatter particles will come together, an explosion happens. Then again, matter will turn into energy. So it changed from energy to matter and again turns into energy. So for the universe to happen, matter and antimatter particles should be unequal. For every 100 crore antimatter particles, there are 101 crore matter particles. When 100 and 100 matter and antimatter particles came together, one matter particle remained separate. As a result, everything we can see now came into existence. Now the universe age is 1 by 10th lakh seconds, which means if we turn seconds into 10 lakh parts, in that 10 lakh parts, take 1 part of it. And that's the age of the universe. Within a short amount of time, universe expanded to 60 billion miles from the size of nothing. By this time, there is 18 trillion foreign degree heat in the universe. While universe expanding, the temperature is decreasing. Remaining matter elements such as protons, electrons, neutrons came together for first time. And when this happened, hydrogen and helium came into existence. Universe is full of hydrogen and helium. And it took 380,000 years to come to this stage. Now the universe is 100 million light years long, with decreased temperature of 4,900 foreign degree. Hydrogen and helium came together. With this act, the gravity occurred and attracted the surrounding elements or atoms and formed as stars. And there's a pressure and temperature between stars. So hydrogen and helium in stars fused, and oxygen, carbon dioxide and magnesium came into existence. But we need zinc, chromium, gold, platinum, uranium, such heavy atoms which helps to make planets and creatures. To form these elements, stars has no ability. Stars started to explode, and we call it as supernova explosion. When energy released by supernova helped the above elements to come into existence, including iron, which flows in blood, calcium, air, and other elements. Universe is now 900 crore years with 3 trillion light years long and minus 452 foreign temperature. The dust and gas by the supernova went around themselves and formed as galaxies. Galaxies and atoms came together because of gravity and started to burn, and we call them now as stars. As we know, in every galaxy there are trillions of stars, and we call our galaxy the Milky Way. There are 30,000 crore stars, which is bigger than Sun, and we have almost 20,000 galaxies. Earth is full of lava, and there is only 6 hours a day. So the heavy particles went into Earth and formed magnetic lines, magnetosphere, to protect Earth from the heat of Sun. Asteroid came with force and hit Earth, and dust flew into universe, and with gravity, dust went around Earth and formed as moon. Because of lava's fume, it rained for the first time, and water formed on Earth. The first creature on Earth is formed in water. We can discuss about first creature on Earth in the next video. Why Big Bang is famous. Back in the 1920s, Edwin Hubble, he saw into skies through his telescope. He saw that galaxies are going away and its expansion. He thought if the expansion of the galaxies is happening, then they must be closer in the beginning. So with this evidence, he said, universe is expanding from a single point or sphere. In 1964, Robert Wilson and Arno Penzias found CMB, cosmic microwave background radiation. Light, which formed when Big Bang happened, expanded with space. There is a change in wavelength. So from the light which can be visible, turned into infrared microwaves, which we can't see, and they are still in the universe. They claimed those microwaves are from the Big Bang explosion. With this statement, they won the Nobel Prize. Wilkinson Microwave Anisotropic Probe, which belongs to NASA, and European Agency spacecrafts, these both will scan universe every time. Those things will receive radio and microwaves. These waves come from stars and galaxies, and some of them are from the Big Bang period. With these theories and evidence, they claim the reason for every creature on Earth is Big Bang, but not God. Science has always given us wonderful knowledge of the observable universe. In physics and cosmology, we can understand of our universe as early as a tiny fraction of a second after Big Bang. In chemistry, we understand the most complicated reactions among atoms and molecules. And in biology, we know how the living cell works and have mapped out our entire genome. The Big Bang theory says that this great explosion caused order to increase in the universe. However, observation has demonstrated that explosions always decrease order. They are never known to increase it. The idea that some cosmic explosion could somehow generate a highly ordered and complex universe seems ridiculously to even consider. Since explosions generate disorder, this ultimate explosion would certainly have produced the ultimate in disorder. Yet, astronomers continue to hypothesize that there was somehow inherent order in the explosion. We have many theories and explanations of Big Bang. But does this prove that there is no God? Time.com, Why Science Does Not Disapprove God, has raised some interesting questions against the Big Bang or science. Has modern science from the beginning of the 20th century proved that there is no God as some commentators now claim? Science is amazing, wonderful undertaking. It teaches us about life, the world and universe. But it has not revealed to us why the universe came into existence, nor what preceded its birth in the Big Bang. Biological evolution has not brought us the slightest understanding of how the first living organisms emerged from inanimate matter on this planet, and how the advanced eukaryotic cells, the highly structured building blocks of advanced life forms, ever emerged from simpler organisms. Neither does it explain one of the greatest mysteries of science. How did consciousness arise in living things? Where do symbolic thinking and self-awareness come from? What is it that allows humans to understand the mysteries of biology, physics, mathematics, engineering, and medicine? Science is nowhere near to explaining these deep questions. But much more important than these conundrums is the persistent questions, the fine-tuning of the parameters of the universe. Why is our universe so precisely tailor-made for the emergency of life? This question has never been answered satisfactorily, and I believe that it will never find a scientific solution. For the deeper we dwell into the mysteries of physics and cosmology, the more the universe appears to be intricate and incredibly complex. To explain the quantum mechanical behavior of even one tiny particle requires pages and pages of extremely advanced mathematics. Why are even the tiniest particles of matter so unbelievably complicated? It appears that there is a vast hidden wisdom or structure or naughty blueprint for even the simplest looking element of nature. And the situation becomes much more daunting as we expand our view to the entire cosmos. The scientific atheists have scrambled to explain this troubling mystery by suggesting the existence of a multiverse, an infinite set of universes, each with its own parameters. In some universes, the conditions are wrong for life. However, by the sheer size of this putative multiverse, there must be a universe where everything is right. But if it takes an immense power of nature to create one universe, then how much more powerful would that force have to be in order to create infinitely many universes? So the purely hypothetical multiverse does not solve the problem of God. The incredible fine-tuning of the universe presents the most powerful argument for the existence of an immanent creative entity we may well call God. Lacking convincing scientific evidence to the contrary, such a power may be necessary to force all the parameters we need for our existence: cosmological, physical, chemical, biological, and cognitive, to be what they are. What does religion say about creation? Is Big Bang the act of God to create universe, or religion avoids the theories of Big Bang? Is God created universe as in Genesis 1? Acts chapter 17 verse 24. God that made the world and all things therein. God with his beautiful intelligence and design, he created the heavens and earth, that is, the world, including the whole frame and furniture of the universe. The world is a great house, consisting of upper and lower stories, the structure stately and magnificent, uniform and convenient, and every room well and wisely furnished. It is the visible part of the creation that Moses here designs to account for. Therefore, he mentions not the creation of angels, but as the earth as not only its surface adorned with grass and flowers, but also its bowels, enriched with metals and precious stones, which partake more of its solid nature and more valuable, though the creation of them is not mentioned here. So the heavens are not only beautified to our eye with glorious lamps which garnish its outside, of whose creation we here read, but they are within replenished with glorious beings, out of our sight more celestial and more surpassing them in worth and excellence, that the gold suffers the lilies of the field. In the visible world, it is easy to observe great variety, several sorts of beings vastly differing in their nature and constitution from each other. Lord, how manifold are thy works, and all good, great beauty. The azure sky and verdant earth are charming to the eyes of the curious spectator, much more the ornaments of both. How transcendent then must be the beauty of the Creator be, great exactness and accuracy. To those that, with the help of microscopes, narrowly look into the works of nature, they appear far finer than any of the works of art. Great power. It is not a lump of dead and inactive matter, but there is virtue, more or less, in every creature. The earth itself has a magnetic power, great order, a mutual dependence of beings, an exact harmony of motions, and an admirable chain and connection of causes. Great mystery. There are phenomena in nature which cannot be solved, secrets which cannot be fathomed nor accounted for. But from what we see of heaven and earth, we may easily enough infer the eternal power and Godhead of the great Creator, and may furnish ourselves with abundant matter for His praises. And let our make and place as men remind us of our duty as Christians, which is always to keep heaven in our eye and the earth under our feet. The author and cause of this great work, God. The Hebrew word is Elohim, which bespeaks the power of God, the Creator. El signifies the strong God. And what less than almighty strength could bring all things out of nothing? The plurality of persons in the Godhead, Father, Son and Holy Ghost. This plural name of God in Hebrew, which speaks of Him as many though He is one, was to the Gentiles perhaps a savour of death unto death, hardening them in their idolatry, but it is to us a savour of life unto life, confirming our faith in the doctrine of the Trinity, which though but darkly intimated in the Old Testament, is clearly revealed in the New Testament. The Son of God, the eternal Word and wisdom of the Father, was with Him when He made the world. Proverbs chapter 8 verse 30. Nay, we are often told that the world was made by Him and nothing made without Him. John chapter 1 verse 3 and verse 10. Ephesians chapter 3 verse 9. Colossians chapter 1 verse 16. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 2. What high thoughts should this form in our minds of that great God whom we draw nigh, to in religious worship, and that great mediator in whose name we draw nigh. The manner in which this work was effected. God created it, that is, made it out of nothing. There was not any pre-existent matter out of which the world was produced. The fish and fowl were indeed produced out of the waters, and the beasts and man out of the earth. But that earth and those waters were made out of nothing. By the ordinary power of nature, it is impossible that anything should be made out of nothing. No artificer can work unless he has something to work on. But by the almighty power of God, it is not only possible that something should be made of nothing. The God of nature is not subject to the laws of nature, but in creation it is impossible it should be otherwise. For nothing is more injurious to the honor of the eternal mind than the supposition of eternal matter. Thus the excellence of the power is of God, and all the glory is to Him. God created us with perfect reason. I believe that God is the reason for beautiful intelligence and design out in the world. Though we have many theories of Big Bang it was never and will prove that there is no God. Mainly, God never used Big Bang to create the universe, but God created universe with His word. There is a creator behind this wonderful design. Scientists claims our life in nothingness without understanding the actual truth of life on earth. A Christian physicist tells clear messages are being given to us both from the Bible and from the physical universe. We speak of God's careful design and His intent to communicate His presence to us. While it may always be possible to propose explanations for the scientific record which deny any involvement of a creator, it has become increasingly difficult to do this while maintaining intellectual honesty. The evidence supporting the Big Bang theory reveal many of these precision designs. He also said, if people say that you don't need all of this science to be a good Christian with a strong faith, I fully agree. But science serves to enrich our lives and our faith. God has revealed truth to us through His holy word, the Bible, and through the physical laws and principles governing our universe. I would not have chosen a vocation pursuing physics knowledge if I truly felt it had nothing to offer of lasting value. I had a deep conviction that my physics training would serve a good purpose as long as I was committed to following and serving God with all my heart. It is important for Christians to recognize that science is a strong ally of the faith. The testimony of heavens is bearing witness to the design of a creator as stated in Psalms chapter 19 verse 1. The heavens are declaring the glory of God, and their expanse is declaring the work of His hands. Psalms chapter 91 verse 5. Lord, how great are Thy works, great beyond conception, beyond expression, the products of great power and wisdom, of great consequence and importance. Men's works are nothing to them. They cannot comprehend the greatness of God's work, and therefore must reverently and awfully wonder at them, and even stand amazed at the magnificence of them. Men's works are tidal and trifling, for their thoughts are shallow. But Lord, Thy works are great, and such as cannot be measured, for Thy thoughts are very deep, and such as cannot be fathomed. God's counsels as much exceed the contrivances of our power. His thoughts are above our thoughts, and His ways are above our ways. Isaiah chapter 55 verse 9. The depths of God's design. Romans chapter 11 verse 33. The greatness of God's works should lead us to consider the depth of His thoughts, the counsel of His own will, according to which He does all things. What a compass His thoughts fetch, and to what a length they reach. Therefore, God is the creator behind every life on earth.